Am I my brother's keeper? We are all familiar with the murderous act of Cain. In an attempt to save his face, with a heartless tone, he retorted back to God, "Am I my brother's keeper?" Cain seems to say, "It is none of my concern." While it is true that I do not have to pay for someone else's sin, how right am I to wash my hands off like Pilate? How much can we excuse a person who professes that he or she has nothing to do with another person's sinful life? Bible is categorical. We hear the response as, "I will hold you responsible for his death." The response we get is, "The other is my brother. I cannot just pretend to be blind, deaf and dumb. I need to get involved. I need to feel for the other." In the first reading, Yahweh reminds Prophet Ezekiel that God had chosen and made him a watchman for the house of Israel. The term watchman is not alien to any of us. All of us have seen watchmen in our housing colonies. We have big institutions. It is commonly understood that watchman is responsible for warning citizens of potential danger from enemies. The task of Ezekiel was to warn people of impending judgment of God. It is guidance offered to another to intend a change in his or her way of living. I intend conversion, turn away from evil, and walk in the path of righteousness. The warning by the watchman given is both to an individual as well as to the community of believers. In the gospel passage, Jesus offers us a detailed explanation of mutual correction we need to give to another person. It is done in charity for the greater good of the other. It is not a free license to claim moral uprightness, publicize others' faults, or to be used as a trump card against a weak person to get favors done by exploiting sinners' fragile condition. Jesus gives us 3 steps for brotherly correction. The first step, personal dialogue. If your brother sins against you, go and tell his fault between you and him alone. Jesus does not qualify the sin. He does not speak of the nature or gravity of sin. Jesus qualifies the sinner. The person at fault is your brother. If the person dialogues fails, Jesus asks us to take 2 or 3 and correct the erring brother. If the matter still remains unresolved, it is to be reported to the church. There is one common element in each of the 3 stages given to us by Jesus. It is the word listen. In the first stage, it is to help your brother listen. In the second step, if he does not listen, take 1 or 2 along with you. If he refuses to listen to the witnesses, tell the church. If he refuses to listen to the church, then treat him as you would a Gentile or a tax collector. What does it mean to treat a tax collector or Gentile? The expression used by Jesus could be understood as exclusion or ostracization, or another word would be excommunication. Jesus during his life on earth easily mixed and mingled along with tax collectors and Gentiles. Basically, Gentile is the one who refuses to believe in God, and publican is the one who hates his people. Jesus does not mean that he is excommunicated by the church. The term suggests that the sinner excommunicates himself by refusing to listen to God or by parting his ways from the church. The second reading, St. Paul's letter to the Romans, speaks of the love command of Christianity. It is a duty of a Christian to love. We owe another nothing else except the basic duty of love. No person is excused for not being a loving person. According to St. Paul, action of love for the other fulfills and completes the rest of the law. Prophet Jeremiah in chapter 31 verse 33 says, "The commandment is written not on a stone, but in a human heart." O Jesus, help me to be a loving person and love fraternally and correct the erring person. Amen.